Hey friends, it's Nancy and I'm back with the chocolate journal. So I'll bring up to speed with what I ended up doing. I was really confused about what I was going to do with these edges. Oh, this one's still wet. Because the gold trim had really flaked off. So I toyed with paint. I thought about gilding wax. I thought about maybe, I know I have silver washi tape, but I wasn't sure if maybe I had gold washi tape. And then I was processing some orders yesterday and I realized I have gold tissue paper and it's like an old gold. I don't have any lights on, so oops, sorry. Let's put some light on this subject. Yeah, so I had this old gold tissue paper. So I cut 1-inch strips and then drew a pencil line and just Mod Podged it on. And I'm very happy with the result. This one's still drying, so we'll just put that aside. So yesterday I went looking for fabric to use for the spine, and Lens Mills. It's a chain locally, sort of in southwestern Ontario. I don't think it goes as far as Toronto, but definitely, London, Kitchener, Cambridge. I went there, and I hate going to Lens Mills because all the stores are always filthy. So I wasn't worried about getting COVID. I was worried about getting typhoid. They're always filthy. The staff are awful, and there's passive aggressive signs everywhere. And they're just great big warehouses of fabric and other stuff. So when I went to the cutting table to get some fabric cut, there's a big sign. No, we don't have any 1/4-inch ribbon or elastic. No, we don't know when we're getting any more. Don't ask. My God. What is wrong with you people? Anyway, I'll show you what I ended up choosing in a minute. But it was tough because it's a weird yellow, and I thought, do I want a pattern? Do I want something? Anyway, so I took a couple of pictures of options, and they were fabrics that actually looked like they had cross stitch on them, but that's not what I ended up getting. I'll try to insert a couple of the photos that I took. Anyway, so one of the tricks that I use for cleaning old board books is to use a white art eraser, a soft rubber eraser, to clean the dirt off. So I started cleaning the dirt off this, and it looks like maybe there was some tape here or something. So it looks really dirty. I tried using some undo remover to take the adhesive off, but that did not work. And you can see it gets a strip right across the top. So I have to think about how I'm going to fix that. So I have a piece of the box left over, and I've got a couple of distress inks. So I'm going to see what happens when I add, this one's fossilized amber. Just grabbing a piece of scrap paper to protect what? I don't know. Okay. Let's see what the antique linen does. I might end up using, you know, combo of the two. Oh my gosh, that hardly shows. So the amber has really brightened it up, but the antique linen looks a little more distressed. So what I think I'll do is I'll try to brighten up that dark place. You guys ready for this? And then I will add some antique linen. I'm going to try to stamp off some of this ink. Not working. Okay, maybe it's working a little bit. Okay. And okay. Now, where is... I'm just going to use a little bit of gathered twigs. Sorry, I'm not in frame because I didn't have room. Darkening up the edge just a little bit. The hot one out there again today. It's crazy. 2 weeks ago we had snow on the ground, and yesterday it was so hot up here. Well, I shouldn't say up here. We're on the first floor, the ground floor. I have all the windows open. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. And then when I woke up this morning, just adding a little more amber just to sort of highlight. There we go. I woke up this morning, my neck is killing me because of course the damp gets in your neck. So as I've mentioned before, we're in a rental, so my son is going to come over today and put in the window bangers. We need some air conditioning. Nice and cool in the basement, but this one doesn't need as much work, this side. Oh, I did want to mention this. I started to assemble the spine and discovered that the back and the front are actually different sizes. So I had to trim down the back an additional 1/8 of an inch. So I took 1/16 off of either side. And then I had to reapply the gold trim. And where did I put the oh, there it is. Let's go for the antique linen. So that was a bit of a setback, but easily fixed. Oh, there's a couple dents there. I want to make sure I get those yellow again. So the idea of all this ink is just to even up the color. And a little bit of gathered twig. So, in my last video, I was talking about how I wanted to do a chocolate theme. So while I was doing a little bit of research, I learned more about Whitman's chocolates. And this is on their website. It's also on Wikipedia. And they were talking about the millions of pounds of chocolate that was shipped overseas during World War II to the soldiers. And it was this style of box that started being made during the war years. And now the name of the box escapes me. It's like French something. I'm going to have to seal all of this. And then I remembered in one of my old magazines, I have an advertisement, and it has a couple, it's a drawing, like, not a drawing, like an illustration, like a Norman Rockwell-esque kind of illustration. And it had some soldiers sitting on a camp bed with a letter from home and a box of Whitman sampler. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to do chocolate. I'm going to do a wartime era, keep the home fires burning, war effort sort of journal with lots of 1940s ephemera and photos and stuff like that. So I started going through my box of chocolate stuff. I can't find the ad, so I will have to go through my magazines, because maybe I didn't cut it out. Hopefully I do have it, but if I don't, I'm just gonna go buy a new one or an old one. So there is a large antique market in Woodstock. It's called One of a Kind Antiques. I've been there once. It's huge. It's an industrial an old 3-story industrial building. It gets hot in there. And I don't cope with heat very well. But I know they have stacks of old Life magazines from that sort of era, or at least they did. I'm sure they still do. So, okay. I'm going to seal this, but before I do, I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what the fabric is. So this fabric kind of has a greeny gold tone as well, but it also has a little bit of pink. So that'll be going like that. And I'm going to be very careful not to cover, that's why I've left a little bit of an extension here and here. I'm going to be very careful not to obscure the stitching there, or the graphics, the stitching graphics. Anyway, so that's what's on the agenda today. The spine is going to be 1 3/4 inches. I'm going to have 7 signatures. And the way I sort of envision this is like the way I bought this box, it contained a bunch of photos and letters and little cards and things. So the way I envision this project going is that, you know, this is a chocolate box that you would, you know, keep, like a cigar box, you know, you would keep your little doodads in that you wanted to save. Another thing I noticed is the top is darker, less sharp than the bottom, and that's just because of light damage. You know, once this is a book, you're not going to see these side by side, so it's not going to be that much of a difference. I think that's all I wanted to say today, but thanks so much for checking in with me, and follow me along on this process. I'm really excited about it, and we'll talk to you again later.